Good morning, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. Please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, well, let's check and see where we left on the market yesterday. Happy Fed Day, by the way. So we've got the FOMC meeting today at 2 o'clock and then the press conference at 2:30 Eastern Time. So definitely stay tuned for that as we might see some sparks flying. They're not expecting them to really lower rates to negative. They're thinking they're going to keep them about, as low as possible. But it would be interesting if they do put it negative. That could definitely get the market whirling one way or another. So let's see what they decide to do today. It'll definitely be interesting. So here we are, monthly chart pulled up to the mid-monthly Bollinger Band, still a little upper shadow off of that one. We took the inside week up yesterday to fill this gap, and then it came back down a little bit. Again, you can see here, open gap filled and came back, but we still held the upward trend line, and we're seeing futures holding up a little bit here. Let's take a look at the SPY. So we also held that key 20 to 55 level too, which is very important as a prior support level. So pretty interesting here, right? So the futures or the SPY, big spike last night, kind of dripping down a little bit here this morning, but still gapping up. So we'll see how that goes into today. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. Okay, so up 18 points. We were up a little bit higher earlier. It looks like actually a larger bull flag. So let's see how that plays in today. Let's go ahead and get that on there so we can monitor that later. Okay, so we'll see how that holds going into this morning, but kind of interesting, lower highs, lower lows, but we haven't put in that lower low yet, so it may just turn into a triangle type pattern. Let's see how tight it gets into the open today. I would expect some chop into the Fed, but sometimes we see some heavy action before it, and then what we have been seeing is chop right after the Fed meeting, and then even some choppiness after the press conference. Normally we get some craziness after that, but we'll see how that goes here. So again, still holding this macro geo line right here. If we get to that today, it's about 28.63, so that might be a potential level of support today here on the MES or on the S&P. Right, and if we can get over this 29.13, we may work our way back up over to 3,000. That would be a key level on that one. Okay, let's take a look at the Qs going into today. So Google reported last night, and that gave the Qs a little bit of a boost, and then the rest of the market caught up with it. So nasty pullback yesterday, right? So a lot of flow into some other stocks, right? So the financials, the retail, airlines, things like that. And so a lot of money seemed to be flowing out of the tech sector yesterday. So we got a big pullback. It actually came back down to its trend line, even though it was leading the way up. So it followed the SPX down yesterday on the Q. So let's see how it holds that trend line going into today. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple's up a little bit this morning, just generally with the rest of the market right here. It came down below its upward trend line and is right at its ADMA this morning. So let's see how that goes into today. Tesla was up a little bit last night. It's up again here today. So I guess yesterday was just a pause day as it held this fib fan line. So you can see it's gapping up nicely here this morning, about 20 points so far this morning. So good on Tesla. Google. Let's take a look at this one right here. So it was up about 100 yesterday, so it's still up about 100 here today. Huge now move right to get over the pre-market box this morning. So I would suspect that we might see a little bit of a reversal here today because we're kind of gapping up into no man's land up here. We're not even over this pivot here. So I know 100 points is huge, but with this recent volatility, right? I mean, this day right here was 74 points, right? So it's almost like a minor gap for Google. It used to be a big deal, but now it's like, okay, right, where are we? So there's a chance for a reversal on Google today if the market gets weak. So look for a potential fade on that one. AMD reported last night, and they actually had good earnings, I believe, and they were down a bit here. So they tried to get a little bit of a push this morning. They seem to be dripping a little bit here today. So keep an eye on the 15 orb today. Watch the that after-hour box low right there and into the pre-market high and see if we can break out of those for potential reversal on that one. Boeing reporting this morning, so that of course should be very interesting. So let's see what kind of numbers they come out with and see if it's better than expected and they try to squeeze this thing up. Otherwise, this thing is just going to be blah for a while, right? But I don't know how much harder they can push it down. They've been trying. So Starbucks with the report too. So they actually had some pretty good flow through their drive-throughs recently. So people still buying coffee, kind of chopping around a little bit here pre-market. So we'll see if we can get any sort of reversal today if it gets any strength. So WW yesterday, I was like, WW, I thought it was Weight Watch. It is Weight Watch. Weight Watchers International. So it's up a little bit here pre-market. This sometimes can give a nice reversal move, so keep an eye on its pre-market levels right there. See if it gives you like a lower shadow off of that for an opportunity at the open, and of course keep an eye on the 15 orb. And then lastly, Zoom. Wow, big little spike down, big spike down this morning. No real news on this one that I saw coming out. It was just talking about Facebook would have a hard time acquiring it. I mean, there was news that like Zoom and Google are making some stuff free, so that may have affected that this morning too. So anyway, something to keep an eye on there this morning as Zoom is working, trying to work its way back up here, but down pre-market. So anyway, good stuff, guys. I hope everybody has a great trading day today. We'll catch you guys in the lunchtime market update. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.